The Mark Carney Liberals are coming for your guns. The people here are saying, back off.
My friends, the police are against this gun grab. The hardworking taxpayers who pay the bills are against this gun grab.
It's the same thing it's always been with Liberals, and that's division, division, division. They want to divide Canadians, stroke fear and hate against people like me and you and good people.
I ask myself every day, where's the common sense?
Yes.
They're taking our rights away. We're moving towards socialism.
Well, I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I want to push back against this gun grab in any legal manner that I can.
The police services in Canada have a valuable ally in gun owners.
Yeah. David Menzies for Rebel News here in Cambridge, Ontario. And folks, I'm here outside Cambridge City Hall. This is the site for the Waterloo Region Rally against the gun grab, and we have some very important people here. For starters, 4 Conservative MPs are in attendance. That would be Blaine Calkins, Connie Cody, Kelly DeRidler, and Matt Strauss. And any minute now, the big enchilada himself, Pierre Poilievre, is going to show up and address the crowd. And it's all about taking a stand against the Liberals' outrageous and egregious and useless gun grab if the idea is to promote public safety, which we know won't be the case. In fact, it's too bad legendary actor and gun rights advocate Charlton Heston is no longer with us. I think one of his most famous quotes when it came to gun rights would resonate with this crowd.
So, as we set out this year to defeat the divisive forces that would take freedom away, I want to say those fighting words, from my cold, dead hands.
In any event, there are several gun owners here. There are also representatives from the National Firearms Association of Canada and the Canadian Coalition for Firearm Rights. We're going to see what they have to say, what the strategy is moving forward. We know that a major victory was achieved recently when the CCFR got the Supreme Court of Canada to agree to hear their case against the gun grab. That's a major thing. The Supreme Court only hears typically about 6% of cases presented before it. And I think they have a good case. I mean, when you have more than 2,500 makes and models of firearms owned by responsible gun owners being deemed illegal overnight, that is an outrage. In any event, let's see what the folks here have to say about the gun grab.
My friends, listen, we're here today to stand up for our rights, to fight for our freedoms, and to restore common sense.
This federal government is going after people in this community, but really is being so soft on criminals, letting even violent criminals out early. I can't make sense of it. Can you?
A lot of people in the community can't make sense of it. And people have to realize that the gun owner community, sports shooters, hunters, fishermen, all that, they go through such stringent regulations, testing, licensing. They're on the program where, every 24 hours your name is brought through. It's the idea that you're being almost punished for having your property and using your property for your rights, your rights to do those things.
It's really disappointing in a democracy that a law-abiding gun owner can't own what they literally bought that was under the law. They say, was it 90% of all gun crimes are committed with stolen illegal guns. So we're not dealing with the problem here. There's so much money we're now wasting on this gun buyback program. And is it going to move the needle on crime? It's not.
It doesn't make sense. And I think from the top to the bottom, from the judges to the prosecutors to the Liberal government, it's a total joke.
Background checks daily,
To be honest with you, I'm quite appalled. We've worked hard to get our restricted license to begin with, invested a fair bit of money in our firearms, really have never done anything wrong.
Yeah.
And, we champion Canadian rights at the end of the day. And I appreciate people like yourself, trying to make this aware to the rest of Canada.
All right, I'm with Colin. I'm reading his shirt, "My guns are not for sale." You know what? That might be something to look fondly about, the idea of selling your guns and getting cash money, because I guess we're almost getting into the phase where the government's going to grab your guns without any compensation. What do you feel about that, Colin?
Well, personally, I'm pretty disgusted that the government is going to try to offer me a meager few dimes of taxpayer dollars for guns that I legally own that I'm really not even interested in selling. Back. The word back.
I'm not afraid.
Okay.
I just think people need to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
People just need to be peaceful, but stay non-compliant and just do what you feel is right and what's best for you and your family.
Did you know that the rate for a registered firearm owner in Canada to commit crime is only 0.67 people per 100,000?
Well, folks, I'm with Tom Maven. He is the Ontario Director of the National Firearms Association of Canada. Tom, what are you trying to accomplish with these rallies?
Well, in this particular case, this is in the region of Waterloo.
Mm-hmm.
And the Waterloo Regional Police is the only police service in Ontario who have decided to take part in firearms confiscation.
Why is that?
Well, it may be politically motivated.
Okay.
If you remember our previous chief, it was Brian Larkin.
Okay.
And he is now a deputy commissioner in the RCMP.
Oh.
And he's the one that you see on stage whenever they're making firearms announcement. He's the one that's there during committee hearings, answering questions.
Okay.
But it's more upsetting to me because I was a police officer here in the region of Waterloo for 30 years.
Oh, officers, blessed are the peacemakers. Can you give me some insight, officer? Why is the Waterloo service one of the few police services to sign on to the gun grab?
I have no idea, sir. And none of my opinion doesn't count.
Sure it does. You're a man in uniform.
I'm literally here just to make sure to keep the peace during this rally. I'm in a police liaison role, so I'm not in a position to speak to the wide Waterloo Police.
Are you happy Waterloo has signed up to the gun grab?
I'm not in a position to speak to that, sir.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thanks for your time,
All
sir.
right, have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Gun bans make great distractions.
Trudeau may be gone, but Carney has picked up his same rhetoric.
We will quickly, and I mean quickly, reinvigorate the buyback of
Hunters, collectors, competitors, and defenders of tradition are still being targeted, while criminals run wild under Liberal policy. But we are fighting back. Join us, Canada's National Firearms Association, in defense of freedom.
Most gun owners can see that it's basically just a vote buy and that there's no real safety benefits to confiscating guns from legal firearms owners and that they need to go after criminals.
You know what, folks? You would be wrong to assume that everybody standing up against the gun grab is a gun owner. And with Keith, he just told me off camera, he doesn't own any guns, so why in the world would you be here, Keith?
I'm tired of people being terrorized, injured, or killed by people that have illegal guns.
Yes.
And that's where all the crimes are being committed with guns. It's illegal guns coming across the border. And consistently, for way over 10 years, the Long Gun Registry, and what's this, the third gun ban, they're totally ignoring the real problem. And that is illegal guns coming across the border.
If you are a law-abiding citizen and you obey by the rules and the laws, you're a taxpayer, you are this, you are that, you are everything that you should be as a citizen, and you don't cause no harm, why can't you have one for obviously recreational use, hunting, obviously, just leisure usage, not unresponsible usage, proper usage. But the problem is we have too many unresponsible people in this country that use firearms for improper purposes.
And even if all those facts have not convinced you, you know who can convince you? Our own public safety minister, caught on tape. He has done a better job than anyone else convincing.
That's the tenant.
That's the tenant. So there's the tenant. You were his tenant?
Yes.
Yeah. You were his tenant.
Well, folks, I'm with Sean Branch, and Mr. Branch attained a degree of fame, if you will. He is the individual who recorded Public Safety Minister Gary Andansangari. And tell us about that, Sean, because you caught him dead to rights. You caught the Public Safety Minister essentially saying, yeah, this isn't going to work, but we're still going ahead with it.
Don't ask me to explain the logic to you on this, okay? Like, it's...
But we're not the problem, Gary.
I realize that.
So how many gangbangers, right, are running around at TPS, and every police force in Canada is spending $100,000, if not millions of dollars, in prosecuting people, investigating people that are on the legal side.
I get it.
If I look at a piece of paper going to my gun range, I can do 5 years in prison for a piece of paper. These guys, I hate to say it with your catch and release policies, these guys are caught, right? Might spend a couple days in jail, get a bail hearing, and out they go. But you're taking stuff away from people that aren't the problem.
Listen, it's voluntary.
Yeah, it was interesting that I was talking to Gary about something else, and then he just came out and said, "Hey, I got to tell you something else," and was telling us all about the upcoming pilot program in Cape Breton, and told me a whole bunch of other crazy stuff, knowing that it's not going to work. It's only for votes in Quebec.
And the conclusion is, let's finish this because we committed to it in the campaign.
But campaign promises have always been broken in the past.
I know.
So why must you go through on this one?
Look, just say it, Sean. The
Quebec, you know what's wrong.
Quebec, for example, is in a very different place than Ontario, right?
We're talking about Canada. It's federal. This is not
provincial. I get it. Quebec is in a different place than other parts of Canada, right? And this is something that is very much a big deal for many of the Quebec electorate that voted for us.
He even said that, I understand you're not the problem. And he said it was voluntary, and we know it's not voluntary.
So then he tells you, you say to him, but I'm not a danger. He says, I know that. The policy is not designed to fight crime. It's meant to win political votes, right? That's what he says.
Well, folks, I'm with a familiar face, Tracy Wilson, the Vice President of Public Relations for the Canadian Coalition for Firearm Rights. Tracy, got to start with the most important question. Where are the gunny girls?
There are some gunny girls in the crowd, David. Okay. And I know you just want them to beat you at shooting again.
Yeah, I'm a little obsessed after meeting them last month.
Yes.
But Tracy, can you bring us up to date, the CCFR? You were on cloud 9 last month when it was announced that the Supreme Court of Canada is going to hear your case. We know that less than 6% of cases put before the Supremes get the time of day. Yeah. Can you give us an update of where that is?
Yeah, so that is working its way through the court system. Okay. I think the deadline is coming up for us to file our complete case. So our legal team has been working hard on that. We're still going all the way. We're the only group still fighting it. And we are looking forward to a hard-fought battle.
The people who commit crimes are the ones who acquired their guns illegally almost entirely by smuggling them over our borders. This is not speculation. It is a proven fact. The Toronto police have said that 90% of guns recovered in crime were not possessed legally. They were brought in through our porous, weak, liberal borders.
And it's unfortunate they're spending all this money on punishing law-abiding gun owners when they could be sending that money into police forces, cracking down on crime, more enforcement. It's ridiculous.
In Canada, it's ridiculous that we now feel afraid in our own communities.
And it's not just in Canada. You see it going all over the place, and it's almost like it's a organized thing. And if they take our guns, we're going to end up like Australia. We're going to end up like the UK, and we know what's going on there.
I'm here just doing what I can. Whether or not it's going to change is another story, but all we can do is keep fighting the fight, right?
Well, I believe the real truth is that the Liberal government desperately hates licensed gun owners simply for political reasons. They know that licensed gun owners generally don't vote Liberal because the Liberals are constantly attacking them.
They're taking our rights away. We're moving towards socialism, and possibly communism. And I think, the more people who refuse to obey or listen, we can prevent the country from moving towards socialism.
By diverting at least $750 million to confiscate firearms from the law-abiding people, they are not only failing to fight crime, they're making crime worse. They're going to be diverting police resources away from real criminals to go after Grandpa Joe's hunting rifle. The people who follow the law are going to be getting knocks on the doors by police officers who would much rather be doing their jobs of arresting real criminals. This is going to make our country even more dangerous.
Hey folks, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to Rebel News. Also, hit the notification bell. That way, you will never miss another Rebel News video.
I honestly think it's almost like the liberals are a bleeding heart, and they don't have. They think that criminals will get better, but they won't. You hear the same offenders in BC, 50 of them commit 2,000 crimes or whatever.
That's right, yes.
They don't become better. You just lock them up instead of going after legal gun owners.
Go after the criminals. Get people letting off right away now, and also no vetting of people coming into the country.
Yep.
It's turned into a Wild West show.
Yeah.
And look at all these.
But at least in the Wild West, the cowboys had guns.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and you knew who the good and the bad guys were, depending on the color of their hat, right?
In reality, look at the state of the world we're in. We are literally letting people intrude into our homes and letting them take our lives or our families or any of our possessions free of arms, just anything.
And so, Tom, and I'm sure the people with the Waterloo Regional Police Service know that this gun grab is not going to have any kind of tangible results in terms of reducing illegal gun crime. So why go along with it in the first place?
Well, as we know, we heard the public safety minister, Ananda Sangari, in that recorded conversation admit that it is not going to do anything for public safety.
Yeah, he doesn't even believe it.
Exactly. But they're still continuing with it, and they're willing to spend up to $1 billion so far.
So, what that also means is I all of a sudden feel a lot safer in a crowd full of registered gun owners than I do with him. Not the problem, absolutely.
That's the thing. The Supreme Court is going to answer a very important question for all Canadians, and that's, can the government step into your life, even though you've done nothing to deserve it, and confiscate your legally acquired property? And I think all Canadians need the answer to that, and we're going to find out.
The Liberal government, and I'm not one to disparage Mark Carney, the Prime Minister. I respect the office of the Prime Minister. I do believe that Mark Carney should really rethink his choice for Public Safety Minister. This is a man who does not understand what a PAL is, what an RPAL is.
That's true. Our friend Andrew Lawton asked him that question. Do you remember that, folks? Yeah. He was clueless. Check it out.
Does the minister have an RPAL?
Minister.
Can you repeat that question?
Member.
I'll rephrase, Chair. Does the minister know what an RPAL is?
Minister.
I do not.
Member.
Does the minister know what the CFSC is?
Minister.
I do not know.
Member.
I'll stipulate, Chair, that is the Canadian firearm safety course that all gun owners in Canada have to do to get their firearms license. Has the minister ever done the Canadian firearm safety course?
Minister.
Speaker, it's my third week on the job. No, I have not.
The honourable member.
Does the minister know what safety classes and safety demands are expected of law-abiding Canadian gun owners?
The honourable minister.
This is not about law-abiding gun owners, Mr. Speaker.
We're all law-abiding gun owners. Over 90% of gun crimes are done with illegal guns. Why aren't we going after those? Why are we letting people come out of our jails? It's a constant turnstile of people coming through. I have a couple people who work in the police work, and they're so frustrated because they arrest them and they're out within a couple hours.
Are you one of those gun owners who bought a gun that was perfectly legal in yesteryear and is now suddenly going to be restricted or prohibited. Are you in that situation? And if so, what are you going to do about it?
Yes, I do, but I might have lost him in a boating accident. No, but I don't.
Holy mackerel, a lot of boating accidents with guns these days.
I ask myself every day, like, where's the common sense?
Yes.
It almost falls into the insanity category as far as I'm concerned. Like, really, when you look at common sense and what's right and wrong, and they've got all the facts and figures to show that it's unjust.
Colin, what are you going to do with your guns? That October deadline's coming up. What do you do?
Well, I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I want to push back against this gun grab in any legal manner that I can. I'm going to hang on to my guns right up to the very last moment.
My friends, I will make a prediction to you. This will go billions of dollars over budget to recover almost no firearms. It will drive more guns into the black market. There will be more crime, more chaos, and more danger as a result of this latest liberal boondoggle than ever before.
Have you bought guns from yesteryear that are now on the restricted list that you have to get rid of?
Well, I'm not going to answer that publicly.
I think our biggest problem is public perception. Yes. The public doesn't know what it takes to get a firearms license in Canada. Yeah. Licensed firearms owners are the safest people in this country to possess firearms. And the reason they're going after them is because it's the low-hanging fruit. It's the people that are easiest to manipulate. That $1 billion that they're going to spend on this program certainly would be better spent on border security and keeping the illegal firearms out of this country.
Isn't that so perversely ironic? We are bleeding hearts for hardened criminals, constantly giving them another chance, but there's no bleeding heart for legal, tax-paying gun owners who we are endeavoring to make a criminal. It's like something out of the Twilight Zone.
Well, what I think is crazy is, like, if they really cared about saving lives, they'd ban large vehicles and alcohol. Yep. They kill way more than gun owners. Yes. Legal gun owners in Canada do.
Yeah, you will see that there is a lot of doom and gloom out there. There's a lot of people saying Canada's finished, Canada's done, Canada is lost. And someone mentioned it earlier, and I'm glad they did. The only time you lose a fight is when you stop fighting.
The minister just announced the other day that he's giving Winnipeg $95,000 to combat crime. $95,000. Yes. I mean, you couldn't even buy a boat for that. And yet, he gave Winnipeg $2 million to confiscate legal guns from gun owners. So the priorities of this Liberal government have been laid bare for all Canadians to see. And it isn't fighting crime or making safe communities.
The biggest thing, though, is the taxpayers. Yeah. This is taxpayer dollars being spent on a frivolous program. And like Pierre was saying, this is a program that is going to balloon in cost. We're going to see the cost overruns going crazy. It's absolutely insanity. And I think what we should do, if you are out there and you have the ability to write your member of parliament, come out to these events, talk to your member of parliament, your local and your municipal government. Make sure your voice is heard. Don't let anybody take away your voice.
It makes no sense. We're going after the wrong things. Yes. Why aren't we we should look after our citizens who do things properly, who do things right, and we know the stats. Why don't we put them into more gun control and getting people off the streets? It makes no sense.
Well, Mark Carney is supposed to be an economic genius. And I'm not entirely sure how he thinks spending $1 billion for no public safety value is of any benefit to Canadians.
Well, I think when you come from $1 trillion company like Brookfield, what's $1 billion?
Well, small change, I would say. Small change.
My friends, the police are against this gun grab. The hardworking taxpayers who pay the bills are against this gun grab, and we have a team of conservatives that are fighting every day in every way.
It's the same thing it's always been with Liberals, and that's division, division, division. They want to divide Canadians, stroke fear and hate against people like me and you and good people, and unfortunately, it's been rather successful. But the hate and division on this gun grab is over. Canadians aren't buying it. It's lost its popularity, and we're done with it. We're going to beat it in the Supreme Court.
The police services in Canada have a valuable ally in gun owners.
Yes.
They do. And with WRPS, the Waterloo Regional Police Service, getting on board with this, they're losing a huge ally in their constituency. People who respect police, respect the rule of law, are now looking at police going, you're taking our stuff. It's gone from rule of law to rule by law.
The NFA is behind something called Save Firearms. What's that all about?
It's a program we've started that protects firearms from destruction.
Okay.
If you know, under Bill C-21, the transfer of handguns and other firearms is no longer allowed. So in a case like that, a grandfather who wanted his grandson upon his death to have his Luger that was a World War II souvenir, it isn't possible right now.
Okay.
So what we do is we have a business firearms license, and we can take possession of that firearm until such a time as it can be transferred to the grandson. And we don't want to see firearms destroyed.
On behalf of our farmers, our hunters, our sport shooters, our law-abiding people, because we are determined to restore the promise of this country, where anybody who works hard gets an affordable home, decent food, including food that they hunted or fished or trapped, to bring home, to live on a safe street, to be united under our proud flag, to move forward to making Canada the freest nation anywhere on earth. We will fight for it every day and every way. Thank you very much. God bless Canada.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pierre Paléan.
I just want to thank the leader of the opposition, Pierre Poilievre, for making the trip out here to supporting gun owners. I mean, it's been a tough time for these people, and to have the support of one of Canada's major political parties is fantastic.
Hey folks, I know you love it when Rebel News brings you the other side of the story, and let's face it, the mainstream media, they're not interested in covering a rally like this, but we need your help. Can you go to handsoffourguns.ca? That's handsoffourguns.ca. Please sign the petition, and if you're able to, kindly make a donation.